everyone, welcome to Johnny's NetSec YouTube channel. As an IT security person, I have been exposed to all kinds of firewalls: Palo Alto, Checkpoint, FortiGate, Juniper, Cisco, WatchGuard, pfSense. Most likely you name it, I probably put my hands on it already. But in this lab, I'm going to show you how to quickly create your own VPN lab at home and using Palo Alto and FortiGate virtual machines as an example. I will do basic configuration and then do VPN configuration. This is the diagram I'm going to use. I'm going to have Palo Alto virtual machine, FortiGate virtual machine created. If you have watched my previous videos, you will see how to download Palo Alto firewall virtual machine and FortiGate firewall virtual machine and then import it into your VMware workstation. Then do basic configuration to allow the internal network to go to internet. We will go beyond that in this lab. We will create VPN tunnel between those two firewalls and a test connection between virtual machine test 1 and test 2. You will see all those lab steps in this blog post. You will see high-level steps. Also, you will see small steps under these high-level steps. So now, let's start it. I'm going to show you step by step. In this lab, we're going to have 4 virtual machines, 2 for Palo Alto firewall and FortiGate firewall. Another 2, test 1, test 2. Those will be our test machines. I already created them in my VMware workstations. One is Windows 11, another is Windows 2016. If you watched my previous video, you must know how to download FortiGate virtual machine image and the Palo Alto virtual machine package. So I already downloaded them. What you need to do is double click and import it into our VMware workstation. So this is Palo Alto. And we're gonna go to our FortiGate folder and import it into our VMware workstation. I will accept default settings. Once VM has been imported, I'm gonna change the network adapter settings based on my lab environment. As you can see, I have 3 interfaces for each firewall. Management interface, always the first interface in your VMware workstation, and the second interface for internet. Internal interface is our third interface. These are same for both VM. In this case, first interface I will using bridge for management. Second interface, I'm gonna change it to use NAT. Third interface is going to be our internal interface, which I'm going to use LAN segment 1 for my FortiGate. Then LAN segment 2 will be for my Palo Alto. Once it's ready, you can power it up. Same thing for the Palo Alto firewall. First interface is our management interface. It's going to be bridged interface. Second one will be NAT for internet. Third one will be LAN segment, LAN 2. Power it on once it's ready. The management interface is the interface we need to configure for both. You can use DHCP. You also can assign static IP for them. So once both virtual machines are ready, I'm gonna continue my video recording. After a couple minutes waiting, both virtual machines has been booted up, and we should be able to log in using default credential to check the management IP. The management IP usually configured as a DHCP client, so you will get the DHCP IP address from the DHCP. I also configured both test machines with IP address, default gateway, DNS server. They are configured based on this topology: IP address, default gateway, and then DNS server. Now let's start with FortiGate configuration. User and admin password is none, so you just press enter and you're gonna be prompted to change to a new password. Once you change a new password, you should be able to show system interfaces ? Show system interface ? Then you will see the port 1 configuration. As you can see from the screen, the port 1 is IP 192.168.2.185. So that's the IP address we're gonna use to log in using our browser to open HTTP. But make sure HTTP has been enabled first. We use show system interface, and then enter. Then you should be able to see like basic configuration on the port 1. So port 1 already allowed HTTPS, PIN, SSH. So since it is management interface. Again, if you want to see the IP address, put the ? At the end of show system interface, so you will be able to see the IP address. We're going to try HTTPS. As you can see, HTTPS doesn't work. So that's why we need to make sure HTTP opened. That will give us initial login to your virtual machine. We are using admin account and then a new password. It will asking us to change the host name since it's using default name, and to change our dashboard settings. Just click OK. Go to network, interface. This is our port 1 management interface. Again, all those steps has been presented in my previous video, so take a look in my previous video for more details. So management interface 201, you're going to configure it as 201. We are not going to use DHCP here. After you configure 201, you need to change it to 201 to log in again. Same for other interfaces. Port 2 is our internet interface. You also can call it WAN. We're going to manually set it up based on the IP in the topology. /24. We're going to allow PIN HTTPS for testing purpose. For port 3, which is our LAN interface, you also can call it internal. You can define role as well. Based on our topology, the IP is 10.10.10.10. Also, I would like to enable HTTPS and PIN for this interface. Assign the Internet WAN interface to a role WAN. This is already basic configuration, but one thing we haven't done is static route. We need to tell our packet where to go to Internet. So the destination is any IP address. Gateway IP is our gateway to Internet. So our WAN IP is 192.168.111 and the gateway IP is .2 and the interface is our WAN interface. Once we have our default route configured, the next step is our policy. You need to have a firewall policy to allow your internal network to go to Internet. So that's simple, just creating internal to Internet, allow any rule. That's incoming interface, internal, outgoing interface, Internet, source is all, destination also all, service all. Now we should be able to go back to our virtual machine to quickly check the connection. First, let's pin our gateway, which is our FortiGate internal interface. Pin was working. Now pin to the Internet. Also it's working. You may want to tracer to Internet to see the hops. So just go to internal interface, then go to our WAN gateway. From there, they will hop into the Internet. The next step, we are going to take a look at our Palo Alto firewall to complete the basic configuration. So we see on the console, we already have a new IP 192.168.2.186, so we can use it to log in. If you try HTTP, you'll find it won't work. So for Palo Alto, you need to use HTTPS to access the management interface. Username admin, password admin. You will be prompt password change required. So type your admin as old password and then enter new password. So log in again with your new changed password. We don't want to see it again. Just close this notification window. We can check our management interface. If you want, you also could change the IP. So in this lab, I also want to change the IP to manual. I want to do static. Based on our IP topology, we're gonna using 101 this IP. So we didn't enable HTTP, so that's why we cannot connect over the HTTP protocol. That's fine, we keep HTTPS. Since we changed the IP, you may want to commit the change. But before we commit change, I want to change other interface IP as well. So Ethernet 11, Ethernet 12, those are our data interface. So we're gonna configure this as our WAN internet interface. It's not tap port. We're gonna make the screen larger. We're gonna use default one to make things much easier. We're gonna create a new zone. IP address 192.168.111.100. Okay. This is gonna be our internal interface. It will be our layer 3 interface. For routing, I'm gonna put into default virtual router. Also, if you want, you can create your own. Gonna create a new zone for that. Zone toilet LAN. Click OK. And starting to put the IP address 10.0.0.10/24. One thing you also might want to configure is a management profile. Right now, we don't have any management profile configured, but maybe you want to enable a couple on your interface for testing purpose. Same thing on Ethernet 1/2. That's for our internal networks. We're going to use the same management profile, which enable PIN, HTTP, that will help us for troubleshooting. Interface has been configured. But we may need to configure static route to go to internet. So we're gonna add it default to internet. Next hop, the interface will be our WAN interface. And we're gonna point into our internet gateway .2. Okay. Policies. Security policy. We need to have security policy to allow the traffic, especially from internal network to internet network. We're gonna create a security policy rule to allow internal zone go to internet zone. In this way, add gonna add source zone, LAN zone, destination, gonna add destination zone when application will be any action will be allowed. We also gonna have an NAT rule to be enabled when they go to internet. Original packet from source zone, LAN, destination zone, WAN, translated packet, dynamic IP endport. We're gonna translate only interface address, which is Ethernet 11. All those settings has been done. Now we can commit to it. The commit status shows pending, but that's actually not right. We already changed our management interface IP to the 101. So in this case, because it's lost connection to management IP, the web page not refresh it right. So we're gonna log in with new IP. It's gonna creating our new administration session. We don't have to wait to come back. We can go back to our Palo Alto test 2 internal machine, which has IP 10.0.0.100. We can start to pin Palo Alto's internal LAN interface, which is good. We can reach to it. We also can try to pin the internet, which is also good. Let's look at the tracer result to see how many hops has been completed. Similar as our FortiGate internal tracer result, we have 2 hops, LAN interface, then go to internet gateway, LAN interface, then go to internet gateway. So at this moment, all basic configuration has been completed. We are able to get to internet from our test machine. This will be our part 1 for this lab. So my next video gonna be part 2 to creating an IPsec VPN. Keep tuned. If you like this video, give me a thumb up. Also, if you haven't subscribed it, please do. Thank you for watching.